Hello and welcome to On the Kerbs Pub Chat. I'm your host and barman, Thiemo Albers-Daly. This time I'm going to attempt to predict the 2024 F1 Academy grid over a few drinks, but I won't be doing this alone, so I've enlisted the help of two friends of the podcast, Inside F2's Fraser and Jenny Craig. How are you both?
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, all good as well. Thank you, Thiemo. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. Now, before we get started, there is the important business of what are you both drinking tonight in my international, digital, maybe one day real pub.
Thiemo, I'll be honest, mate. I've got some water with me. That's really boring, I know, isn't it? But I know. I just, sometimes you go to the pub and you just fancy having a bit of a chill one, don't you? Just a chill one with your mates, and that's the vibe I'm feeling tonight, you know. So
it's very Monday of you. It's already the end of the week.
Very Monday, absolutely.
Jenny?
I just have a little gin and lemonade.
See, that's how you do it, Fraser.
Honestly, I need to learn from you and Jenny. What are you drinking, Thiemo, out of interest?
Well, you can't go wrong with a nice Canadian beer. In this case, a nice cold Moosehead. So that's where I'm at tonight.
Okay. Right, I need to get on it, really, don't I?
Ahead of getting into our 2024 chat, though, I would be curious to see what you both made of the first season of F1 Academy this year, as it's all just been wrapped up in Austin not too long ago. Jenny, we'll go with you first, as you chose a proper drink for this evening.
Jenny, after you.
I've loved it. I think the only problem that I've had is the fact that it was so good, but it wasn't shown anywhere. But apart from that,
you had the skin bit to that. Like, how can be too good?
Yeah. Apart from that little detail, I've absolutely loved it. I think the idea has been brilliant.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's like you say, it's a shame that it was broadcast to got how good Austin was, and you see some of the highlights from other races, you think, oh, if we could have watched that, I mean, Fraser went from F2 and 3 as well, how good feeder series can be in F1, and he's definitely been accepted that rule, and I think it's just further elevated it.
Yeah, I agree with what Jenny said, to be fair, Thiemo. And, you know, it's a real shame that it hasn't been televised throughout the season. Obviously, there's a reason why, and I understand the reason why, absolutely. But, it would have been great to see it, wouldn't it? It seems like it's been a brilliant championship from what we've seen. Obviously, lots going on, lots of action, lots of talented drivers on the grid as well, isn't there, all season long. Really, really excited for next season, actually. And I think, have it as part of the F1 undercard, if you like, along with Formula 2, Formula 3, is massive for F1 Academy. And I'm really excited to see this series go from strength to strength, which I really, really think it will do over the next couple of years.
Fingers crossed, he definitely deserves it. And that's about as good a segue as I think we can get before we start trying to figure out what 2024 grids could look like. It's like do this for a different pod, but I don't know about that.
You're welcome.
We've potentially got something interesting on our hands, though, because thanks to the deal with Frecker and the fact that Mara Garcia can't stay in F1 Academy for 2024 because she has now won the title, we might actually have some half-correct predictions, maybe, or maybe just one or two. I probably shouldn't say any of this, and I'm probably digging myself into a hole the longer I go on about this. But with that in mind, I think I'll just launch straight into my predictions for PREMA, and I'll give you two a second to confirm your choices for predictions for later on. So I'm going to kick things off with Neria Marti joins PREMA, and I think Ferrari are going to take her into their F1 driver program. As per the rules for next year, each F1 team has to pick a driver to represent them in F1 Academy. Neria Marti did a brilliant job this year. PREMA like to poach drivers that have a bit of talent and really show it, and she has a lot of experience from W Series as well, showed really great form there, and she's been able to do a lot of excellent stuff in that PREMA this year, so I think that's a bit of a no-brainer. I think Chloe Chong's going to stay there as well. Makes sense to stay there for a second season. You're bedded in with the team and just keep that going. They need a little bit of continuity, maybe. Sauber take her because Lena Bühler won't stay in F1 Academy for next year, as per the Frecker opportunity potentially. So just to mix things up a little bit there. And then for their third driver, I've gone for the rookie selection of Nicole Havre, who's a Canadian Czech racing driver and the 2023 Formula Pro USA champion. And she's about to, or depending on when this goes out, is currently racing in the second season of the Indian Racing League, which is something that Bianca Bustamante and Lola Lovenfoss did last year. And it's just good to get a bit of seat time that way. Doesn't appear to have hurt those two drivers too much either in terms of experience, because they've both done very well this year. So it makes sense that they could make the switch, that she could make the switch up, to PREMA and F1 Academy next year. Perfect time for her to come into the sport and see what she can do.
I like it. Some nice ideas in there. I think Nerea Marti is going to go into next season as one of the favourites, isn't she? So really interesting that you think she's going to go to PREMA.
Yeah, so it just makes sense in mine. But again, I'm probably going to eat my words and point out that, so I might as well get in the doors. Jenny, we're going to come to you. You mean, who are you going to be putting in PREMA for next year?
So I put Marty in as well, just because I thought she'll definitely be a championship contender as well. And I thought PREMA's the best team to do it with at the minute. I kept Bustamante at PREMA because she seems like she's fitted in very well there. And I've put Pullen up to PREMA for the same reason as Marty, because I also think I can't really see her in red, but I think she'll do it.
It'll clash with the Alpine blue, won't it?
Oh, yeah, actually. And the pink. Maybe just a little logo. But yeah, I think she's going to be a championship contender.
What a team that would be, by the way. The three of those in the same team.
I was thinking, wouldn't it? And with PREMA, of all the teams that it's going to be, I mean, Polling's been interesting this year because she's not been good, but she's maybe not been as we expected. But I think just means that we really watch out for her next year because it's Sam Bullock.
Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting one, isn't it? I think Abby Pullen is probably a little bit disappointed with how she's done this year, but that's we saw in the final round at Kota just how good she is, didn't we? So yeah, she'll definitely be one to watch next season if she returns, as Jenny says, particularly if she goes to PREMA. So,
are you putting her in PREMA, or are you go a complete different line, Fraser?
I'm not putting her in PREMA, to be fair. In PREMA, I've gone for Bianca Bustamante to stay where she is. Obviously, McLaren backed, I think she'll be given a second opportunity at PREMA. I've gone for Hamda Al-Qubaisi to step up to PREMA. She's obviously driven PREMA her whole career up until this season in F1 Academy, not W Series. So I've gone for her. Yeah, little slip there. So I've gone for her to go back to PREMA and to mount a title charge there next season. And I've also gone for Maya Werb from Frecker to move across to go and drive for PREMA in F1 Academy. I think it's really interesting. I think we see a lot of drivers. We're going to see it with Marta Garcia going from F1 Academy over to Frecker. But why not? Why can't it go the other way as well? I think Maya could come across. She's obviously Ferrari backed. I think she could remain Ferrari backed next season. If she goes to go and win F1 Academy in a PREMA next season, then she could go back to Frecker in an even better seat, or potentially straight into FIA Formula 3. So I've gone for her to go the opposite direction and go from Frecker to a PREMA F1 Academy seat.
If, like you're saying there, we're moving a little bit sideways between F1 Academy and Frecker there, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to see her then jump up into Formula 3 the following year if she does particularly well, so 2025. And we were kind of a little bit surprised maybe that Marta Garcia didn't go straight into Formula 3, so it wouldn't be out of the realm possibility for them to course correct slightly. And either way, if she went back into Frecker, she'd be quite a force to be reckoned with, I reckon. And if she went into Formula 3, she'd be perfectly placed for it, essentially. She'd have a lot of experience under her belt by that point, so it would make a lot of sense. So not a wild prediction. Well, a wild prediction, but a logical wild prediction.
Are either of you two going to put in the F1 team with any of your drivers, or are you saving them for later?
I didn't get that far.
Thiemo, I've gone, as I said, Maivag to be backed by Ferrari. I've gone, obviously, Bianca Bustamante is with McLaren. And I've gone for Hamda Al-Qubaisi to be backed by Red Bull as well. So 3 big Formula One teams all backing 3 PREMA drivers for me. So, that's
for you.
Yeah, that's where I've gone. So come back to it later.
Disagree with your part slightly though, because as we move on to ART, I'm pretty sure, unless I ridiculously missed the press release, that Bustamante is going to go to ART.
Ah, really?
So immediately I may have to agree to your predictions.
We won't get them all right.
We may have a bit of time. I could say it's a new record maybe, but at the same time, it's not happened completely. We'll have to wait until we know for certain on next year. So might be a bit of leeway still.
As a result of that, I am going to very much stick Bianca Bustamante in my predictions for ART, and if I get that wrong, then God help the rest of my predictions. I'm also thinking that Chloe Grant's going to stay there, and Williams are going to pick her as their driver for their driver academy. Just makes sense for some reason in my head. And then I'm going to put another rookie in their team in the form of Juju Noda. For those who don't know, she's a Japanese racing driver who has been in W Series before, but the less that's said about her season there, the better probably. But this year and last has been competing across Europe in junior categories, winning numerous races in the Drexel Automotive F3 Cup, the F2000 Italian Formula Trophy, and the Euroformula Open Championship, all quite mouthful titles for championships there. She's done some very impressive driving, and she's in that perfect age bracket for F1 Academy, and I think she really deserves a shot at a series with this much, or just this much attention on it, and it's only going to keep growing, so I think it'd be great. And potentially looking down the line a bit, if Honda get more involved, as they say they will, maybe they'll have a bit of influence over Aston Martin and they can bring a Japanese female driver into their ranks in some way. Who knows? But that's where my money is at. Fraser, I'm going to come straight to you then to see what your predictions for ART are.
So, I've also got Lena Buller moving on as well. So I've actually got Nerea Marti to go to ART. Maybe after what you've just said, maybe I should be swapping Nerea Marti up to PREMA and Bustamante to ART. Maybe that's my little change if that comes off. Yeah, exactly that. But no, as I wrote down before we jumped in the pub. Nerea Marti at ART. I've got Chloe Grant to stay as well, and Chloe Grant to be backed by Williams. Nerea Marti, by the way, I've got to be backed by Aston Martin as well. And then the third ART seat, I've gone slightly rogue, to be honest, Thiemo. And I've gone for Dorian. I've gone for Dorian Pinn to give single seaters a go. Move across from LMP2, obviously in WEC at the moment. We see a lot of drivers go from similar kind of to Frecker, I guess. We see some drivers go from maybe single seaters over to World Endurance Championship, for example. Maybe Dorian Pinn, French driver, French back team. Maybe she'll fancy giving single seaters a go. I've got her. French driver, come to a French team as a rookie and giving it a go.
It's a left field dip, but with a wheel and a logic to it.
It's probably not going to happen, but it's all fun and games, isn't it? So.
That's spirit. Jenny, what about you? Can you top that?
So I've put Chloe Chambers to join ART.
Nice.
Okay,
and
nice.
I didn't think about Buller moving up, but now you've said it, I'm regretting keeping her there. And I've kept Schreiner as well.
Carrie Schreiner, interesting choice. Like you say, she's not done too badly this season. Every driver's not done too badly this season. She's come from a more endurance racing background, and that's been interesting to see how that plays into things in the single-seater category. It can be an interesting jump to make sometimes. But again, a second season, like we see with a lot of drivers, might not be a bad idea. And you see a massive turnaround performance that makes you go, where the hell was that last year? So who knows? She's also in this precarious position of being right on the bubble with the age limit. I think she's 25 now. So she could be let in to race another season. But I think she does turn 26 a couple of rounds before the end of next season. So I don't know what they will do on that front, but it'd be interesting to see. And like you say, if the performance is there and the team's happy with it, then maybe they'll just try and bend F1 Academy's ear slightly to say, do you mind if we just be a little bit cheeky here?
She's an experienced driver, isn't she? So it'd be great for ART to have her if they can. So yeah, makes sense.
Definitely.
I'll stick with you though, Jenny, and I'm gonna ask who's in your driver lineup for Carlin.
Carlin. I have Edgar and Grant. I put Chloe Grant to go there. And I didn't put a third driver because that was my last one and I couldn't fill it.
Circle back to that later. See who's left.
Yeah, I will.
It's so difficult, Jenny, isn't it? And trying to work out who's going to go where. There's so many drivers where it's so unknown. So I don't blame you at all. So I've gone with Abby Pullin to stay at Carlin, which I don't know whether she will. Thiemo, you haven't put her in a team, so I'm guessing you're saying that she's going to move on, right?
Yeah, I was thinking that because of the Alpine links, maybe even though I didn't finish in the 3, they just go, oh, go on, go in for it anyway, and we'll help you in with it. So I could see that, or potentially if Sophia gets moved into F2 with the HM, then we could somehow leapfrog everyone and go to F3 with Alpine that way.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't want to be too optimistic, I think, for a lot of stuff, but I'm just really trying to manifest it.
Manifest it, absolutely. No, I've got Abby Pullin to stay for a second season at Carlin and to really push for a title, title winning campaign in 2024. Obviously, she remains backed by Alpine. I've got Jess Edgar to stay as well, Jenny. So same as you. And I've got Jess Edgar to be backed by Mercedes, actually. I think maybe, she's very young still. It was a great end to the season for Jess Edgar. So, I think maybe Mercedes would have a stab at the British driver. And I really toyed with this third Carlin seat. Obviously, Megan Gilks is moving on, isn't she? And I've actually gone with Alicia Palmolsky. Obviously, she finished 4th in the Ginetta Juniors with Elite Motorsport this year, and she did really, really well. And maybe it's a bit of another rogue choice, but maybe the step up from Ginetta Juniors all the way up to F1 Academy is too big a step. I don't know, but yeah, I've gone with Alicia Palmolsky to step up with Carlin to make an all British lineup at Carlin, which would be quite interesting. So.
Against that, and you say this about GT Championship, but I've got a couple of drives coming up where I kind of thought, let's see if we can maybe risk that biscuit as well. So we're thinking along the same lines there. It was just seeing who's on the radar I've seen over the course of the year. I'm like, why not? We've seen some people this year where we wouldn't have thought they'd come straight into F1 Academy from where we were before. So it's possible, it's doable, so why not? Like I say, you need to give a chance, and even if they don't succeed there, maybe that can help board them into something else.
Definitely. I even toyed with the idea of Ella Stevens jumping straight up from karting straight into F1 Academy, which would have been an outrageous jump. I don't think she's quite going to make that step up yet. But I mean, what a talent she is. In a couple of years' time, we could absolutely see her in F1 Academy winning everything in karting. So, let's wait and see. But yeah, I went for Alicia Palmowski for that last seat. So
you're not putting too much pressure on too quickly for a couple of years.
Exactly that. I'm a big Ella Stevens fan, so maybe she can. A couple of years, she'll be in F1 Academy. Let's wait and see.
As for myself, I've also gone with Jessica. I've got her back by Aston Martin. I've put Chambers in here, which I'm glad I wasn't able to think of for a seat in F1 Academy, Jenny. So I'm glad that we've got that if it's different teams. And I got her with Haas because I'm not a driver, I can team. It's the kind of logic that I just need to keep things straightforward. And then I've gone for Letty Belk, who's the British Ginetta and G4 driver. She just made a debut there. But again, why not? If she can get a bit more seat time between the start of next season, which is doable. I mean, a lot of the drivers went to the Winter Series, I think, just for a couple of races, just to get a bit of more seat time and just in a bit and get used to things with their team. So why not do that? She's been like kind of headlines this year and seemed like the kind of driver that everyone like Carlin would take a chance on. So again, British driver, British team. Yeah, I don't want to try and make too complicated myself. I'm going to get myself in knots anyway for some of the other choices. So I'll take these into where I can, maybe.
Yeah, some interesting choices there, mate. It's without ruining it, I've got a similar kind of thing further down in one of mine as well. So yeah, very interesting.
MP Motorsport, though, I'm only going to be keeping one Alcobars's sister there, and that is going to be Amna, because as I alluded to earlier with the deal with Freck, I reckon Hamda will make the jump into there. So I'm going to keep Amna in MP Motorsport for next year, and I'm going to say Red Bull back her. It makes sense to me for some reason when I was looking through, thinking who might go where. It just kind of, it called to me. I think we're also going to keep Emily de Hoist there because, again, it makes sense. Second season with a team that you've got to know. Why switch things up when you've got a potentially good thing going? She's still really young, a lot of experience still to get, but she's also doing fairly well, as she proved this year. And I think AlphaTauri might go with her. They might keep both drivers in the same team. Makes sense kind of there. And then third driver, I'm going to go for another Ginetta GT Championship driver, also from the UK, in Leona Theobald. She's another driver that I keep seeing, just popping up on my radar. And she's also been racing some Caterhams, and I think she deserves a shot at F1 Academy. We see a lot of drivers using the Ginetta Championship as a bit of a learning ground before they step up into single-seaters. So there's a bit of half logic here, which probably isn't going to age well, but if she doesn't get in next year, then I can just predict her for 2025 when we do this again, and I have to remind myself of that before we do it. So that's what I reckon there. You were alluding to some slightly left field predictions though, Fraser. Does that apply to MP Motorsport?
No, MP Motorsport for me is actually fairly stable, I think, to be fair. Three drivers that we know quite well. I've also gone for Amna El-Khabaisi to stay put at MP Motorsport and also to be backed by AlphaTauri. So I've got our sister at
PREMA. Switching things around a little bit, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I've got a sister at Red Bull backed, and I've got Amna Al-Khabaisi backed by AlphaTauri. So even though they're going to be in different teams for the first time in their career, still within the same Red Bull setup. So I think that'd be quite interesting. I've got Emily de House staying put with MP Motorsport as well. Dutch driver, Dutch team, kind of makes sense. Seemed to do well this season as well. I think Emily de House was growing into the season, wasn't she? So to stay put there and have a second season with MP. And then finally, I've gone for Chloe Chong to move from PREMA to MP Motorsport. I've gone for her to be Sauber backed as well, actually. So I think she difficult season. I think that's fair to say at PREMA this season. She's still very young, isn't she? Very young. She's clearly a talent for the future. So I've got her to move to MP Motorsport, and perhaps a less pressure than at PREMA, who are expecting race wins, moving to MP Motorsport, and to maybe be nurtured that a little bit more. Maybe she can have a more successful season in a second season in F1 Academy, but this time at MP Motorsport.
I mean, it makes sense, and I'm from both calls, and I'm just finding interesting the similarity differences between some of the predictions. And we both choose Sauber before. I'm not entirely sure what our thinking was there. It's interesting.
Definitely, yep.
Jenny, MP Motorsport for you?
I've kept MP Motorsport all the same. I was going to move Amna across to PREMA, but I thought because she's been so strong at MP this year, I thought she'd have more of a chance at the championship with MP because she already knows the team. She's been really good with the car. So I thought that's probably better for her. And then pretty much the same for everyone else as well. I thought it's just worked. And they seem like such a good team together as well. I didn't want to change it.
You didn't want to split them up?
No.
I'm trying to think if this is your wildest prediction yet, or if this is the safest one. It's very hard to tell.
I've also put Amna Al-Khabaisi with Mercedes. I just see it. No particular reason.
I would be against it. Again, I think the same reason I put the two sisters when I was first thinking about it with Red Bull and AlphaTauri as well, Fraser, because again, it seems we separate them too far away from each other. They always seem not. You can always see one of the ones not too far behind. So Mercedes, that'll be fun, especially if that goes with Red Bull and AlphaTauri. You could be starting something there, Jenny. over in Campos, then got one more team, and then we to figure out what the hell predicted. I've kept two of the drivers the same and added a new one. I'll keep Mighty Sarah's there, and I'm picking her with ladies for next year. I must go left field there. And Lola Logan is also going to stay there, but Appian will back her French driver's team, and if Abby Pulling's not there, then it helps her get that one. And then I've got for another rookie in May Hitter, and was saying earlier that you weren't going to put some karting strap into F1 Academy Fraser. Well, I might have just done a little bit here. She was an F1 Rising Star participant, and she is in at the moment, so it would be a challenge. But I think we saw this year with one of the drivers. I can't remember which one it was, and didn't go badly. I mean, everyone did fairly well. They got points on the board, though. There's no reason it couldn't be done. I just like saying names others might not have heard yet and just get that there a bit and see what happens. So that's pretty part of the logic well here. So, yeah, I'm not putting with her because I think there's enough pressure on her shoulders as it is. So, that's probably the closest to the same lineup as I'm going to keep for 2023. But for certain, you've made yourself up here having some wild stuff towards the end. So I'm intrigued.
So I've put a bit of a surprise one in. I've put Belen Garcia to go to Campos.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because I want in F1 Academy, and I think Campos, they're probably not the most expensive one out of there. It'd be good for her. I just want her in there. I kept Lovin Faust in there as well, and I've moved Chloe Chung, yeah?
Yeah, Chloe Chung, yeah.
Yeah, touted myself across there just because I thought, same reason, I think Campos are good at nurturing drivers a little more, and it'd be more of a calm, less eyes on her than there would be at PREMA. So that's the reason I couldn't that.
Fair enough. Any fun teams associated with any of them?
I haven't put any with those.
We're just
I
going to
think
have
I misunderstood.
Nah, you're all good.
Uh,
If any of them can prove
yeah.
later, I think they'll just be bonus points. So if anyone get them, because it's going to be tricky enough predicting all correctly as it is.
Yeah.
Fraser, then about you?
Yeah, I was just thinking whilst Jenny was saying that it's all pointless anyway because we're all going to get it wrong, so it don't really matter, does it? I think Campos, I've gone for same as you, Thiemo. I sort of hinted at earlier on in the podcast. Chloe Chambers to go to Campos and to be backed by Haas as well for exactly the same reason as what you said, is that, you know, American driver, American team, it makes sense for the American team to back the American driver, right? So yeah, go Chloe Chambers going to Campos. I've got Juju Noda going to Campos. I think that'd be quite interesting to see her, obviously former W Series driver. She spent a season in Euro Formula Open. I think that's right, team. And she spent a season there. So I think it'd be nice.
Titles for their championships at the moment, so it's tricky to figure out when it is sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think it'd be good to see Juju Noda back on, back in an all-female category. I think that would be really good. And then another driver that you've already mentioned, Thiemo, I've got Lexi Belk to go to Campos and have that final seat. Obviously, she's been in Ginetta this season, obviously, hasn't she? And had that one round in GB4 at the end of the season. So I think again that would be quite a strong lineup for Campos. Actually, having Chloe Chambers, Juju Noda, and Lexi Belk in teams. So that's who I've gone for. And obviously Chloe Chambers, the only driver there associated with an F1 team.
I think Chloe Chambers and Junoda are definitely drivers here where they're most likely, if they do turn up, to be kind of the dark horses of the series, because unless you're following the junior categories a lot like we do, you probably don't know a lot about them if you've heard of them at all, and they could be quite pleasant prizes regardless of which they do turn up in. Again, Chloe Chambers did a great job at the moment, and Junoda, like we were saying earlier, just kind of flying under the radar but pretty damn quickly. It's quite exciting to see that, and it'd be nice to get a bit more of a global feel to it with drivers where we've got quite a few different countries already represented from all of the shops, so better keep that going away.
Yeah, completely agree. You know, it's some great talents out there, isn't there? So it'd be great to see them, especially on an F1 weekend next season. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
And I'm going to a lot of fun from a Fraser graphic to represent all of this as well. It's not too complicated, but that's my problem, not yours. But before we do go, I do want to see if either of you have any more outlandish predictions that you want to just put in for F1 Academy next year.
Ooh, Jenny, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Who's taking this one?
I think the champion next year will go to F3.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I like that prediction.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be awesome for the winner of F1 Academy to go straight into Formula 3, remain on a Formula 1 race weekend. That'd be great, wouldn't it? And I think that's probably the purpose F1 Academy has been set up, right, to feed straight into FIA Formula 3. So, Jenny, if that happens, I'd be very, very happy with that. So, I am going to go with, caught me off guard here a bit, Thiemo, but I'm going to go with let's see if this is possible. I think it is. I'm going to go with a British 1-2 in the championship standings. I'm going to have Abby Pullen winning the championship and Jess Edgar coming second in the championship. Carlin to up their game. Obviously, PREMA and ART, mighty teams, obviously in the feeder series world. But I'm going to go for Carlin to beat both of those teams and to have a British 1-2. In the
get a heck of championship out of that.
It will be, won't it? It will be. But it's maybe not something that I even believe myself, to be honest with you. But you asked for an outrageous prediction, so there it is. All right.
I'm going to compliment both of you there, and my outline is that every driver gets on the podium at least one next season. We saw it was really close this year already, with a lot of drivers scored multiple points, and now that we've taken Marta Garcia out of it, and particularly leading Boone in terms of some very talented drivers, still got to now being more of an even playing field, so I think we could get quite a free for all there.
Yeah, definitely. That could be something that happens, couldn't it? That would be very interesting. It shows the competitiveness of the series as well, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
So, definitely does as well. Especially, like you said, we've got rookies coming in of caliber of Junoja and Chris Chambers, like you're saying, and we've got a bunch of other drivers coming back in a second season who know what is going on now. Then it could all be incredibly tight, and they've been pretty damn it already. I mean, you need to look at end qualifying session to see that already. So it's very exciting stuff.
Definitely. Jenny, you looking forward to watching it next season? They could be able to watch it on the TV every race now.
I'm really excited. I've really loved this year, and I've thought it's been so different to W Series as well, as in the quality in action. It's just been another step up, and I think it's been close to F3. It's just a shame that not many people have been able to see it.
That next year, certainly be watching everything live and be like, right, I've wanted now. I have to sit and definitely have follow through with my plan to do this. Yeah. Context is be down when watching F1, F2, and F3 all on the same week as F1 Academy, which only happens once, I think, but I think a nightmare of a week trying to organise.
Honestly, it's the FIA have no sympathy for motorsport fans today, putting all of these brilliant racing series all on the same weekends, and even when a Formula 1 race weekend isn't taking place, there's so much good motorsport elsewhere. It's no sympathy at all, is it?
No days off.
No days off.
No social life.
Yeah, no social life. Yeah.
That is all we've got time for though on this episode of On the Curve Pub Chat. If you want more from Fraser, G, or myself, links for all of the places you guys will be in the description below for this episode, so do go and check this out. And I'll be back in not too distant future with another episode talking about something or other that has probably not been decided yet, but will hopefully be interesting, a bit left field as the nature of any good pub chat. In the meantime, though, for Jenny, go and grab another drink.
Oh.
I'll get another water too, mate.
Yeah, good man.